Hello all, and welcome to Explained with Dylan. Last week, I talked about Somaliland, the country that is not a country. And in case you are very confused right now, I will leave a link to that video in the description. This week, I'm going to be talking about a country that is not a country, completely new and revolutionary idea. The difference being that this country is about to become a country. We're just a couple years away. So, it will be a country. It is just not quite a country yet. This would be Bougainville. About a year ago, Bougainville finally got its independence referendum and won. But that is not the first time they have tried. Bougainville has been under colonial rule for very long time. It started with Great Britain, then eventually, once Australia became independent, Papua New Guinea, as well as Bougainville, went with it. While they were still part of Australia, then in 1972, Bougainville tried to get independence, but it ended up completely falling through. In 1975, Papua New Guinea became an independent country, and Bougainville went with it, because honestly that is a better place for Bougainville to be. They are more culturally similar to Papua New Guinea than to Australia. But they still wanted independence. So in 1988, they came up and said, hey, we want to become independent. And Papua New Guinea pretty much just said no. That is exactly how the conversation went down, I am positive. But anyways, from there, Bougainville started a 10-year-long civil war against Papua New Guinea, and it was quite deadly. The death toll was quite high, especially given the population of the island being only 300,000, and they end up just stopping the civil war after quite a while, making a peace treaty, because neither side was getting anywhere, so it was pointless, especially after so many people had died. There are a couple of reasons why Bougainville might want to become independent. The biggest reason being that they are completely culturally different from Papua New Guinea. They are an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Meanwhile, Papua New Guinea is technically still an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But the difference being that Bougainville is the minority here, by far. And they don't exactly want to be the minority. The other reason being that Bougainville is plentiful with natural resources. They have tons and tons of copper and gold and forestry. It is great. But Papua New Guinea is coming in, taking all of that away, and then profiting from it and gaining to their economy. But they have not spent that much on Bougainville itself either, which could be an issue. In 2000, after the Civil War was over, Papua New Guinea granted Bougainville autonomy, which isn't quite independence, but they did get quite a bit more of it. They didn't mind that, they quite liked being autonomous, but once again, Papua New Guinea would still come in, take a lot of their natural resources, and then profit on it, even though Papua New Guinea slowly started to spend a bit more on the island of Bougainville itself. But, as I mentioned before, Bougainville still wants to be independent. They're different from Papua New Guinea. They shouldn't be squished in with Papua New Guinea into one country when they're completely culturally different. So in 2019, Bougainville hosted an independence referendum that won overwhelmingly, absolutely demolished it. Everyone, not literally every single person, but the vast majority of the island, of the 300,000 people on that island, did not want to stay as part of Papua New Guinea. So, Papua New Guinea said, fine, we do not want to cause another civil war, so in 2027, you can become an independent country. Why 2027? Well, Papua New Guinea clearly does not want them to become independent, because they would lose 300,000 people of their population, and more importantly, they would lose a large portion of their economy because of all the natural resources hosted by Bougainville. So they figure they might as well keep it for at least another couple of years until eventually Bougainville has become independent. For now, Papua New Guinea is supporting Bougainville's independence. But we'll see. Once it comes closer, they may try and retract on a couple of their comments. We will see. I suspect Bougainville is too far gone. They will become independent. Because if not, then another civil war is coming to Papua New Guinea. But Papua New Guinea is still going to try their hardest to convince them to stay, even though that may be impossible. Bougainville will likely host quite a bit of success as an independent country and be recognized very quickly because of the fact that there isn't controversy here. Papua New Guinea hosted the independence referendums for Bougainville, which means that they're allowing it, even if they're slightly reluctant. It's not like Taiwan or Palestine or Kosovo here, where they're trying to steal territory from another country. Papua New Guinea is saying, fine, this isn't our territory anymore, which means that Bougainville should be recognized by quite a few countries, because there isn't a controversy. Unlike last week, how I talked about that people don't really want to get on the wrong side of Somalia, then you wouldn't be getting on the wrong side of Papua New Guinea here. The other reason that Bougainville will likely have plenty of success as an independent country is because of the natural resources, specifically the Panguna mine. In 1972, the Panguna mine opened, which provided plenty of copper and gold all over the world. But during the Civil War in 1989, then it got sabotaged by the people of Bougainville, because like I mentioned, they didn't exactly love the fact that Papua New Guinea was mining their minerals and then taking them to a completely different island and selling them and taking the money. So they end up sabotaging it, and the mine was forced to close in 1989. But there's still plenty of precious metals left in that mine, which means that once Bougainville comes independent, they could easily reopen that mine, and there are rumors of that happening. Papua New Guinea wouldn't exactly love the fact that as soon as they become independent, then they open up their mine again, but they don't really have a say in this matter. And it would make plenty of sense for Bougainville, because then they would have quite the strong economy. Although, if it does not work out for Bougainville, because of the fact that they only have 300,000 people, that's not that much for a country, then there are rumors that they could end up joining the Solomon Islands. They are quite a bit more culturally similar, and they all have their fair share of natural resources, although we'll see if the Solomon Islands would be willing to let Bougainville in, and if Bougainville would really want to join the Solomon Islands. We'll have to see. But for now, in 2027, Bougainville is going to become an independent country, whether Papua New Guinea likes it or not, and from there we will see how well they prosper. Thanks for watching.